All right. Arnold UK is over, and Hadi is the champ. Back-to-back Arnold wins for him, sending a message to the whole world that he's coming for that Sandow. That's for sure. And Derek Lunsford better show up better than he did last year because Hadi's bringing it, man. It's going to be close this year. Like, can't wait for the Olympia at this point with those two guys. Anyway, Samson comes in second, much improved from the Ohio. Hadi was a little bit off, so it came from this turned out to be a very close match, but it was a sensational show. Before I get to that, just a quick update. I actually saw Justin Rodriguez in the gym, and we had a small conversation. I asked him what his next show was, and he said he was going to be doing Detroit. I didn't want to interrupt his workout too much, so I just, said, hey, after you're done with Detroit, I got Dorian and Phil coming on the show every week. Why don't you come on with us? He said, yeah, maybe, we'll see. But he is doing Detroit. A lot of people are going to be there doing Detroit. That's actually going to be a pretty good show, and I think they're paying out. I think they're paying some pretty, well, across the board, Open's paying more. Anyway, okay. Back to the show. Back to the Arnold UK. Hadi looked great. 95% of Hadi is still beating everybody. Okay. Samson looked fantastic. Here's what I want to say about these two guys. Hadi didn't know whether he was going to get a visa to the UK until Thursday when they finally gave it to him. This guy's got to prep and stay in shape, not knowing whether he's going to be able to make it to the country that he needs to compete in. That says a lot about his mental toughness because he's got to stay focused with a big question mark, right? So he gets it, goes over there. He was still, I believe, in the States. Yes, he was in the States. And he goes over there to the UK, and he gets the win. Samson, I want to give him his props, too, because this guy was sick. He did not feel good. He was going to check himself into the hospital. He was very weak, shortness of breath. He had a falling out with his coach. And then he still showed up to the Arnold UK once he got everything straightened out. And he really looked great. He looked phenomenal. Better than he did in Ohio. Much better, as you'll see from the pictures I'll show you in a little bit. Third place, Akeem finally brought it, but brought it in the night show. I apologize. He brought it in the finals. I'm thinking NPC, right? Listen to me. He brought it in the finals. In prejudging, same thing. He wasn't even in the top 5. I don't know what happens between prejudging and finals in the 24 hours. But whatever Chris Aceto makes him do in those 24 hours makes a huge difference because when he came in the finals, he was an easy third. He has so much muscle, and he came in really conditioned. Fourth place, John De La Rosa, looked fantastic. The epitome of consistency this year. He looked great in the Olympia. The epitome of consistency this year. He looked great in the Arnold, Ohio. He looked great at the UK, both the prejudging, both the finals. Really brought a great package. I'm glad he came in fourth. The prejudging looked like they had him in third and Hollingshead in fifth. And then the finals, I guess they rejudged it and put Akeem in third and him in fourth and John in fourth and then Hollingshead in fifth, Moshe Shaban in sixth. All right, let's check out some picks. Here we go. All right. Hadi in the middle with the gold. And there's Samson. John gets third. Akeem gets fourth. Fifth is James Hollingshead. And Moshe Shaban is number 6. Was Antoine in this show? Or were there only 6 guys? I think there were only 6 guys, right? Whatever. It is what it is. All right, let's check out some of the is this Hadi winning? Yeah, this is Hadi winning. Happy as a pig and shit. Apparently, Hadi is a great guy as long as he's winning. If he's not winning, that's when he's a miserable prick. But when he's winning, he is the greatest guy. I know he brought John De La Rosa over to his booth for a meet and greet because John didn't know that many people in the UK, and he brought him over, which was really great for him. He was very gracious with Samson and great to the other guys. So just keep him winning, and he's a nice guy. Let's see. Here we go. All right, I guess this was the pose down. And you're going to see, look, Samson here. One thing you could tell right away with Samson when he's in better conditioning, his legs are so much more separated and so much more striated. When you look at his legs and the difference when he comes in 100%. His chest was striated, and you could see from the back he looked phenomenal. Are there any other? All right, let's see who. Let's see. Do you have any other rigmaroles? All right, let's see. This was no. You don't want to see it upside down. That's stupid. Okay, so here's Hadi. I mean, Hadi looked just fantastic, man. I mean, he looked great, but he was a little bit off. He wasn't spot on like he was in Ohio, but he still won. He was still good enough to win. I would like to see the scorecards. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy won by 1 point because Samson looked better in the night show. This is Arnold. Samson looked better in the night show too than he did in prejudging. He really brought it. He really did. He looked sensational. All right, let's see if we got if RX Muscle has anybody good. Let's see. Okay, let's check out Samson. All right, here's Samson. See what I mean by the legs? You can see when you see the separation all the way up like that, you know he's in shape. Okay, he has a great vacuum. That small waist right there. When you saw the striations in his chest, you knew he was in much better shape than he was in Ohio. And when he turns around, even from the side, you see the difference between his quads and his hamstrings and his. Look at that. You can see the tie-in is much better here than it was in Ohio. And when he turns around, you see a huge difference. You see a great hamstring and glute tie-in. Right, you could see it right there, and then obviously his lower back comes in, and when he's that chiseled, his weakest pose becomes really good. And then this is the part, yeah, you could see the Christmas tree. He came in dialed. Now I said Samson's weakest pose is his front double by. It's still great, okay, but when it's his weakest, but for the most part when he comes in dialed in 100%, that shot is not weak anymore because you could see everything. You could see all the striations. You could see his lower back is in. You could see, the Christmas tree. You could see, just muscle fibers everywhere, right? And I just want to, if he turns around, he just looked. Look at the striations in his chest. That's something you don't normally see in Samson when he's not 100%. But this one, I think he looked better here than he did. This might have been his best appearance, to be honest with you. So now, look, if his wife is bringing him in this good, I mean, why go with anybody else? If your wife is doing such a great job, I mean, obviously she's doing a fantastic job with him. Why get another coach? I mean, she did a better job than Milos, unless. Milos, I know, was on, what was it, Dennis James's podcast saying that he doesn't want to suffer. He doesn't want to do the extra cardio. I don't know. He looked really good here. And I just wanted to address the biggest difference with his hamstrings and glutes tie-in one more time. When he does the rear lat spread, you could really see it. Watch. I'll show you. And then all of a sudden he sits and boom, look at that. That looked great. That's how you could tell he came in shape and he was not messing around. Now, Hadi, don't get me wrong. I mean, this guy walks around in shape. I mean, Hadi's a special bodybuilder, dude. I mean, he comes in 95%. He still looks fantastic. All right. A little suspect, although I'm not really against it, but most just to point it out, he does have those little lumps on his shoulder, possibly synthol. But you know what? I'm not really against synthol because, the bodybuilders use everything in their kitchen sink and everything in their medicine cabinet to make themselves look better. So we draw the line at synthol. I mean, this guy's, so it doesn't bother me, but his shoulders did a little suspect. And here, see how he wasn't as peeled as he was in Ohio, and that shot right to see that. Like, even though he's fantastic, he's holding a little bit of water. Even though he's a little off, he still beats everybody. That's how great of a bodybuilder he really is. All right, now for a little while, everybody's going to be talking about can Hadi dethrone Derek now. Derek is only competing once a year now. He only does the Olympia, but he gets better with every year because he's a very young man. If Hadi comes in the shape that he came in at Ohio, I don't think Derek could beat him if it's Derek from last year. If Derek continues to make progress and continues to make improvements like he has been the last couple of years, then he keeps it. Then he keeps the title, right? But only time will tell. We shall see. Derek has a lot of young muscle. You don't see a lot of striations and fibers throughout his chest and shoulders and whatnot. And Hadi has this old school, heavy banging, weight, grainy, just chiseled chest and shoulders that, I mean, you see every muscle fiber. He's just a fantastic bodybuilder. So that's going to be the conversation coming up next. But we'll have to wait and see. But it is going to be a fantastic Olympia this year. And don't count out guys like Samson, guys like Nick Walker. Nick Walker wasn't in the conversation last year. He was hurt. But now he's going to be in the conversation because he's going to go to New York Pro, probably going to win. And then he's going to go on to the Olympia. Okay. And now, obviously, if he doesn't win the New York Pro, he'll go on to another show and win or whatever. I mean, Nick is that good of a bodybuilder. Okay. But don't count those guys out. Don't count Samson out. Those are going to probably be most likely a top 4 in the Olympia this year. And it makes for a great top 4 if it's always this close, right? Makes for a great top 4. Makes for a great Olympia. All right, guys. Keep in tune. Like, share, subscribe. Enjoy my content. A lot more stuff coming. I'll talk to you soon. Later. Peace.